This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
If you're an athlete, you know the greatest motivator of all is the fear of letting your teammates down. After all, a team is only as good as its weakest link. So you owe it to those wearing the same jersey as you to be your best every time you step on the field. That's why there's no vape in team. When you vape, you can expose your lungs to toxic chemicals that can damage your lungs. If you're a step behind, the team's a step behind. Brought to you by The Real Cost and the FDA.
1, 2, 3, 4. Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. I am your host, Precious D. And I am on my own this week. I was supposed to be at Kaiju Go, but because of reasons, I could not Kaiju Go. The show is sold out, so if you're not there already, you are out of luck. Honeybee should be there representing us, so if you are there, say hi to her. So this week we have some more, but in the meantime, this week we have some more interviews from G-Fest 2024. Once again, I would like to apologize for the quality of my audio on these interviews. My guests all sound pretty good, but mine is jacked up. I got to invest in a pop filter or a windscreen or something and practice with that little portable recorder I have more than once a year. But I hope it doesn't interfere with your listening enjoyment too much, because I got some really good interviews with some great kaiju content creators. And now, here are the interviews. All right, we are here at G-Fest, and I am talking with artist Matt Frank. How you doing, Matt?
No, I'm doing all right. We're getting to the end of the weekend.
Yeah, it's almost closing time here on Sunday.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your background, Matt.
Well, I'm a comic book artist by trade. I started off as being younger, being of course obsessed with Godzilla and all that stuff. But then as I got older, I was thinking like, no, I'm probably only going to. I don't know if I'm ever going to actually be able to do anything professionally Godzilla related. So I tried to just focus on my career as a comic artist. And then Godzilla sort of happened in 2010. And after that point, it was kind of my career maker, which I'm very grateful for. So, and now it's been 14 years since I had originally started doing art full time. So, that's the very short version.
Okay. So you've done some work here for IDW, it looks like?
That's correct. For IDW's Godzilla Comics has been the majority of my... like what people know me for. I've definitely done a lot of other stuff. I've worked on other IDW comics such as Transformers, and I did some Mars Attack stuff. And I even did a My Little Pony cover once, which was really fun. And then, I've other stuff too. You know, like I've done some Blu-ray covers and just yada yada yada. Quite a few things. I mean, I can go on, but yeah.
I used to always get that My Little Pony for my niece and nephew, so maybe I have that cover. I don't know.
It's possible. It's really rare now. I can't find it anywhere.
Was it like a variant, or?
I think it was. I don't remember. I don't remember what issue it was for. It was like 45 or something. It was an issue. The cover was Princess Luna, and it was sort of like her being the princess of the night, and there were all these kind of nocturnal, creepy crawlies around her, but I made sure to really cute them up and stuff. So, and she's got her. She has her possum hanging from her horn that she named Tiberius. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I recently got one of your prints off your website for a friend of mine, that beautiful Mothra rainbow print for Pride Month. You were promoting it on Instagram. Did that do particularly well for you on Pride Month?
Oh yeah, no, it's done very well. We I don't have the final numbers, but one of the aspects of that was I was donating a percentage to Equality Texas, which is a legal fund for fighting for LGBTQ rights in Texas, which is a heated battleground. So literally and figuratively. Anyway, but it's done very well, and it's gotten a huge response from people. It's been really nice. It's just been very gratifying, and I know they appreciate it. Like I said, I haven't crunched all the numbers yet because as soon as Pride Month was over, G-Fest starts up. So, but yeah, thank you. Thank you for buying one. Thank you for supporting it.
Are you from Texas?
Yes, born and raised. I'm from San Antonio, and I currently live in the Austin area.
Yeah, my co-host is also in Austin. I think she said something about you might live just a few blocks from her bar.
Oh, that's hilarious, because I live up in the Pflugerville area. So that would be really funny. That would actually be really funny. I'll have to go out there.
I'll send you a message. I'll let you know what a restaurant is. So we'll see what it is. Well, this is a really beautiful work you've got here. It looks like you're selling some original pages, some signed comic books. So why don't you give the folks your web address? Because if they're hearing this, they've already missed G-Fest. So where can they find you online?
You guys can find me over at mattfrankart.net. I have an online store, as you said, which is mattfrankart.bigcartel.com. And you can find my socials through my website. But generally, if you look for Mattzilla85, you'll find my stuff. Or Spankzilla85 in the case of Twitter, because I didn't think I was ever going to use Twitter for anything. So here we are. It's the thing that's my biggest platform.
Well, we'll put links to all that in the episode notes, and we'll probably do a little artist profile page on the website. Thanks for talking with us today, Matt.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, we're here at G-Fest 2024. I am talking with Mac McClintock of Titanic Creations, and he has a comic book called Soul War. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, Matt?
Hi, thanks for talking to me. So Soul War is this beautiful period piece that takes place during World War II, and we have 4 original kaiju that show up in it. And it follows this first monster named Nosferadon, which is kind of like a vampire kaiju. And he has this telepathic bond with this young Jewish boy. And a lot of it is they're trying to figure out where the Nazis took his parents. We get to see kaiju killing Nazis, and that's something I don't think a lot of people could ever argue against. And of course, we have an evil Nazi monster, Scoreus, which is this snake scorpion. And all this is happening, and all the monsters eventually end at the end fighting each other. And it's this really beautiful book. It's 108 pages, and we're selling it for only $20.
So it's a trade paperback. I'm looking at it right now, folks. It's very nicely done. It's very colorful, and the art's really good. It's really bright. The art just jumps off the pages. He's got stickers and posters here. What else does Titanic Creations do? Looks like you make figures.
Yep. So the comics all include our original monsters, which we also make vinyl figures of, and all those we've been selling this weekend for $30. And that whole line is very limited. We only make 1,000 of each figure. And then along with that, we also do licensed figures. Our first license was Gorgo, and we're also now doing Young Gary. And those ones are more hyper-articulated and also giant 30-centimeter statues.
Yeah, I think I've seen this Goro one online. He looks really good.
Yeah,
a lot of people were really excited about him.
Yeah, it's a beautiful statue. We just got those in 2 weeks ago, and I can't keep them in stock. Like all my hyper-articulated ones, we sold out of those yesterday, and it's been a wild weekend.
Goro's a little more obscure. We did talk about that movie on the show, but because he's obscure, if you like him, you can't find him. So when someone finally puts one out, if he's your guy, you'd be very excited about it. Do you have anything else coming up regarding Soul War or any other comics?
So we actually are going to be printing Gorgo Legacy, which is actually a sequel to Soul War, kind of like in the same universe sequel. But it's actually the first new Gorgo media that's came out since the film. And I think a lot of people are really excited about it. We did a Zoop, actually, for it. And we raised about $10,000 for that. And I'm really excited. I think a lot of people are really going to love that book.
That sounds great. So what did you do on the book? You're the writer, the artist, both?
I'm the writer, and the book is illustrated by Patrick McEvoy. He also did World War Kaiju and Project Arkham. he's done a lot of really great stuff, and his artwork really brings the story to life.
Is this your first comic, or have you been doing this for a while?
This is my first comic book I ever published.
That's excellent. Excellent. Well, it looks great. I congratulate you on it, and thanks for talking to us here today.
Thank you so much for talking to me, too.
All right, I am here at G-Fest 2024, and I am talking with Jeff Gomez, who's with Tsuburaya Productions. What is your position with the company, Jeff?
Well, it's great to be here. My position with Tsuburaya is that of transmedia producer. So I have my own company, Starlight Runner, and Starlight Runner was engaged by Tsuburaya Productions and Tsuburaya Fields in Los Angeles to do development work and extend the Ultraman franchise into North America.
And you were involved in Ultraman Rising?
As a transmedia producer, I'm involved in everything that's connected to Ultraman. So with regard to Ultraman Rising, I was all the way back there when it was conceived, the discussions with Netflix, the original treatment, the script, and so forth, just contributing in any way I could.
Folks, if you're not familiar, Ultraman Rising is a new animated Ultraman film on Netflix. It's pretty much a standalone. I don't think you have to know decades worth of Ultraman going into it, and it's we just watched it the other day. It's a lot of fun.
The beauty of the feature is that it's animated, so it's accessible to the entire family, and if you do know and love Ultraman, there are many little Easter eggs throughout the film because it was made by people who do love Ultraman. But you're absolutely right; it's self-contained, it's its own universe, and it has a beginning, middle, and end. You don't need to be a PhD in Ultraman to enjoy it.
You probably could get a PhD in Ultraman. There's a lot of it to consume. Now, Steve Smith was telling me that you are developing an Ultraman role-playing game.
There is rumors as such. Sure, my background is in game development and game design, so there are all kinds of Ultraman products in preparation right now. The more immediate product is an Ultraman trading card game, which is awesome and is about to make its a kind of public premiere at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, great. Well, I have a particular passion for role-playing games, and we've talked about any kaiju-related role-playing games on the show before, so I was very curious to hear about that. Is there anything you can tell me?
Well, let me tell you about role-playing games. That's where I got my start. I have been playing Dungeons & Dragons since the late 1970s. Gary Gygax was one of my dungeon masters. I developed role-playing games in the 80s and ran a magazine called Gateways in the late 1980s about adventure games and how to build story worlds for games.
What games have you worked on?
I worked on the Palladium Fantasy game. I worked on Robotech. And, of course, I worked on Magic the Gathering as an entire universe for Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, I was just in Half Price Books the other day, and I came this close to buying a copy of Palladium Fantasy game. But I should have got it.
It's one of the best.
I should have got it. I could have had you sign it. Wow, that's amazing. So this Ultraman game, what kind of system is it going to use?
A fantasy role-playing game is still in early discussion, so unfortunately I can't talk too much about it. Suffice to say, whatever we do related to Ultraman is highly customized to the Ultraman universe and needs to observe the basic foundational rules of Ultraman.
Okay, all right. Well, when it gets closer and it's ready to come out, maybe you can come on the show and talk about it.
First person I go to.
I'll make sure you have my information then.
Absolutely.
So that's great. I did a panel here last year on kaiju and role-playing games. So, and
I've put a lot of kaiju in my adventure games as I've a dungeon mastered through the years.
And as soon as the panel was over, I started seeing new stuff coming out. So if I'm here next year, I might do a follow-up panel update on what's come out since then.
Absolutely.
Any other projects coming up that we need to know about?
Well, in terms of Ultraman, there's so much going on. There's Ultraman Rising, which is still on Netflix. It hit number 2 worldwide, which is fantastic for an animated feature. Ultraman Arc, the live-action series, is on the official Ultraman YouTube channel.
Yeah, I saw that first episode the other day.
Did you? What'd you think?
It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Little tips to Showa era, classic Ultraman. It's really good that way. There is the Mill Creek Blu-rays. We renewed our contract with them, so they're going to keep putting out Ultraman DVD sets. It's my goal to have the entire Ultraman canon become available worldwide in many, many languages so that all of us can enjoy Ultraman. And there's San Diego Comic-Con, where we're going to be doing tons of appearances and activations throughout the convention.
You talking about the canon. Is there anything that's not currently available in the United States?
Oh, sure. The past 4 or 5 entire series are not available on Blu-ray yet. And there are a number of second and third generation Ultraman series that are not quite there yet. The Japanese have so many different formats over which they put out content. Some of them are little mini-series, some of them are one-shots, movies. So, I want it all, as does any collector.
Well, sure. I've only dipped my toe into Ultraman a little bit because there's just so much of it. But I can certainly imagine, filling up your shelf with all those matching Mill Creek DVDs or Blu-rays.
When you look closely at the franchise, it's really astounding the level of imagination and variation that's placed into this content. Yes, there's something kind of formulaic about a giant dude taking on a kaiju, but the approaches, the metaphors, the themes that are explored in the show are very reflective of the contemporary pop culture and contemporary global concerns as you move through the decades.
Now, I'm kind of into Doctor Who. Some of that is missing. There's not any Ultraman missing, is there?
Well,
in America, sure, but...
In America, sure. But as I understand it, Tsuburaya has virtually all of it. There is some stuff that is missing or has been lost, or certain dubs are not available for whatever reason. But I'm a Doctor Who fan too. I consulted with the BBC on Doctor Who, and that's there's an equivalence between the two.
Right. Well, I think it's great how they're restoring. Because they've got audio for everything from fans, so they're doing animated adaptations of some of the missing stuff, and eventually they'll fill in all those gaps as best they can.
Same with the audio dramas and just all kinds of ways to fill those gaps in.
I just thought because Ultraman's similar time period and a similar amount of content, probably more content, that there might be some holy grails that people are trying to track down.
Yes, I wish I could talk more about it. We're working on finding it all and getting it to you. In addition to Tsuburaya's other shows, they made many live-action kind of superhero shows and kaiju shows, and I want it all to be shared with the Western folk.
Well, that's great. Jeffrey Gomez, thank you so much for talking to us today on Monster Movie Fun Time Go, and I hope you have a great rest of your convention.
Hey, reach out to us at Ultraman Connection. Register at the site, and you'll get a newsletter about all things Ultraman. Follow me at Ultraman. Follow Ultraman Connection at Ultraman Connection on X, and follow me at Jeff_Gomez on X.
Well, folks, I'm afraid that's all we have for you this week, but hopefully we'll be back on track next week with Outlander, I think. Until next time, I have been Precious D. Thank you for listening. Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements. Please don't misuse science. We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing us on your podcasting platform of choice. You can leave us a message and find links to all our things at mmftg.com.